莱坞也在烧火咯. And now, one of its most envied, most respected couples has become one of its most hypocritical, most hated couples in Tinseltown. Because not only did they try to steal a movie, not only did they play the victim card, but allegedly, they're now trying to send the film's director to jail, shooting them right past Kanye and Bianca to the #1 spot of Hollywood's most hated couple. And now in 2025, for these two anyway, Time's Up has an all new meaning. 代志大条，代志大条。Okay, so in the middle of last year, we actually did an episode on this incident when it first started to develop, and her excellent portrayal of this character made men and women instantly fall in love with her, eventually turning her into a Hollywood star. It also didn't help that both of her parents were Hollywood veterans. Now to many, she was the perfect partner, and apparently Ryan Reynolds thought so too, because once they met on the set of that really terrible Toji Landing back in 2010, Ryan Reynolds dumped his then wife Scarlett Johansson and immediately started dating Blake Lively. Fast forward a year after that in September, and the two eventually tied the knot. Now, word on the street is that Deadpool cheated on Black Widow with Gossip Girl. Now, we don't really know if that's true, but that would be gossip, right?
That's just lazy writing.
And you can actually check it out down below. But in case you're told out as fuck, we're gonna use this chapter to catch you up real quick. So here's the breakdown. This incident involves 3 people. First, there's Ryan Reynolds, aka Deadpool.
I'm touching myself tonight.
And then there's Blake Lively, who is famous for being in a couple of films, but I think her biggest role to date is her character in the hit TV series Gossip Girl.
Why would I try to steal something from you? Because you take everything from me! You can't even help it! It's who you are!
Now, the third person in this story is a lesser-known actor by the name of Justin Baldoni, who got his claim to fame on the hit TV series Jane the Virgin.
I believe that hard work is the key to success. I mean, as a Taurus, you must know what I mean. Persistence is everything.
And then afterwards, he ended up appearing in the film that calls all this drama It Ends With Us with Blake Lively.
We all have an idea of what love can be.
I want to see you again.
Now you see me.
You know what I mean.
Now, It Ends With Us is based on the best-selling book which deals with some very heavy subject matter of domestic violence and abuse. And after reading it, Justin Baldoni loved it so much that he decided to take a risk and invest his own hard-earned money into purchasing the film adaptation rights, making him not only the lead actor, but also the director. And it was him, along with the book's author, that advocated for casting Blake Lively as the female lead.
You could tell the chemistry even just in the first look photos, like the stills, before you could even see any of the visual medium. So that says a lot about you too.
Blake Lively could have chemistry with a rock. It could have been just a tree and there would have been chemistry. No, she's that talented, so I take no credit for that.
And then some really weird shit started to go down, because Blake, who was initially hired as a female lead, all of a sudden got a producer credit. And then when the film was about to release, when they go on their press tour, they did it separately. I mean, you never saw these two in the same room or on the same stage together. And you need to keep in mind, Blake is a female lead and I guess the producer now, and Justin is not only the male lead and not only the director, he also owns the film adaptation rights. 所以这个真的很奇怪呢. But here's where it gets quiet as fuck. Because there were 2 other men who decided to join Blake in the promotion of this film, but they weren't even in it. Hugh Jackman and her husband, Ryan Reynolds.
It's not every day the husband gets to interview his wife's love interest in a film. It's kind of crazy.
I don't remember seeing this on the schedule.
Dive in, shall we?
The love interest of his best friend's wife, and the guy trying to replace Ryan as a husband, and me as his best mate.
Holy. Now, you need to keep in mind, this is a very serious book, but for some weird reason, Blake and her husband, Ryan Reynolds, went on a promotional tour, causing people to think that it might be a romantic comedy. Now, on the flip side, Justin Baldoni's approach was very serious. He wanted to show the audience the severity of domestic violence and how women struggle with these issues.
I think all of the scenes showcasing gender-based violence, I think that was very hard for me. I mean, even thinking about it is hard. There were a lot of times where I would have to go privately into a room and just cry or shake it out and try to get him out of me and that energy out of me. I think it was really important that we acknowledge that, yes, this is a movie about love and hope, but that we don't shy away from the issue. So we brought on our partners at No More, and they were involved in the making of this movie from the beginning because we really wanted to honor survivors in that way. I mean, especially because this book was so personal to Colleen. Right. Just making sure that we honored all of the Lilies that experience what she experiences in this book around the world. And hopefully we do it justice.
Now, by this point, even the hardcore fans were starting to wonder what the hell was going on. And they were starting to speculate that Ryan and Blake had hijacked Justin's film. Now, when they started to make their speculations vocal, well, Blake's response?
Blake Lively on Justin Baldoni. She felt kissing scene lingered too long, feels he fat-shamed her.
And Blake didn't stop there. She went on to claim that Justin made her feel uncomfortable on set and prolonged the kissing scenes, and even possibly, maybe, touched her inappropriately, making her feel really uncomfortable. And let's just say this didn't make Justin look good at all. So, Justin's response?
Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ there was a scene in which Justin lifts Blake into the air. According to our sources, Justin has a history of back problems, and before lifting Blake, he went to his on-set trainer and asked how much she weighed and how could he train to protect his back from injury.
Now, after the whole Johnny Depp fiasco, fans learned really quick to investigate deeply before making quick judgments. And as a result, they uncovered a lot of clips suggesting that Blake might not be the very nice, sweet person that she makes herself out to be. In fact, she might just be a straight-up hypocrite.
First of all, congrats on your little bump.
Congrats on your little bump.
What about my bump?
You've got two nice ones.
And they are kind of bumps, aren't they?
No, not bumps. The lovely lady lumps. Check it out.
Thank you. Thank you.
And now comes the part that just might piss you off even more. Because that reporter who was there interviewing them, just weeks before, she had found out that she was infertile. So where she was just trying to congratulate someone that she admired on actually being able to get pregnant because she couldn't, the end result was that she got completely shit on. So needless to say, this entire interaction made her feel horrible. So with just a little bit of receipts and a lot of internet detective work, public opinion started to shift on Blake Lively real quick. But keep in mind, at this point, there wasn't a lot of direct evidence, so most of it was just speculation. And at that time, Blake still had a lot of arduous supporters. In fact, if you look at the comments of our initial video we made, they tried really hard to skewer us bad. But this was just phase 1. But then, just a few weeks ago, phase 2 began. And it became the epic pimp slap in the face of all those commenters who were riding Blake Lively's nuts cowgirl style in phase 1. So for phase 2, 你要准备more点的爆米花. And by the way, if there are any 爆米花公司要跟我们合作，欢迎，你应该会卖得非常好。Because phase 2 is an epic butter-filled kernel clusterfuck of 代志大条。Okay, so after phase 1, the presidential elections went down and pretty much everyone kind of forgot about this whole incident. After all, at the time, there wasn't a lot of evidence and it was mostly speculation. And there was even a period where Blake and Ryan's reputation seemed to be recovering. After all, who doesn't love Deadpool? Lo siento, amor, lo siento. But then, just a few weeks ago, Blake Lively did something that completely reignited the incident, escalating what most people have forgotten to a straight-up legal battle. She was gonna take Justin to court.
Blake Lively suing the film's director and her co-star, Justin Baldoni, accusing him of sexual harassment on set, retaliation, and attempting to damage her reputation. Allegations Justin denies.
Now, in this lawsuit, Blake accused Justin of a lot of horrible things. From claiming he hired PR firms to publicly smear her, to repeatedly barging into her trailer while she was breastfeeding, and even sharing some borderline SOD level content with her while at work. And apparently he confessed to having a addiction and even tried to write some more sex scenes into the script. And there's some other really graphic shit that we can't mention in here, but I'll put a link to the case file down below if you want to read for yourself. But in conclusion, according to Blake Lively, Justin was weird and creepy and terrible as fuck. And he was using his position of power to force this innocent young woman to do things she did not want to do.
Hey, Blake Lively, you have been nothing but honest, kind, supportive, and patient since the day we met. Thank you for being exactly the human that you are. Never change, never wilt.
As Blake's friends and sisters for over 20 years, we stand with her in solidarity as she fights back against the reported campaign waged to destroy her reputation.
I believe Blake.
Now at this point, especially following the New York Times article, which laid out all the receipts that Blake had on Justin, it seemed like Blake Lively's support was starting to recover, and Justin's was going straight down the tubes. Shit, even the author of the book, It Ends With Us, was showing support for Blake at this point. I mean, if Blake was willing to take legal action, surely she had receipts to prove everything that was going down, right?
No.
Okay, so here's where I introduce you a little bit more background on Justin Baldoni, because it turns out he is a man bun wearing hardcore emotional feeling feminist who believes toxic masculinity should be completely eradicated from society. He is very sensitive towards women's issues and wants to protect women, but aside from the tama and the swipe ball at good looks, he is the perfect epitome of the nice guy.
That I've unconsciously been hurting the women in my life. My wife told me that I had been acting in a certain way that hurt her and not correcting it. Basically, sometimes when she would go to speak, at home or in public, I would just cut her off mid-sentence and finish her thought for her. It's awful. So here I am doing my part, trying to be a feminist, amplifying the voices of women around the world, and yet at home, I am using my louder voice to silence the woman I love the most.
Ha! Gay! And at this point, Justin Baldoni had enough. And unlike last time, Justin decided that he was not going to play nice anymore.
Actor-director Justin Baldoni is now suing his former co-star Blake Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds, seeking more than $400 million in damages, accusing them of defamation and extortion.
Before that lawsuit was filed, there was this explosive piece in the New York Times with this very dramatic headline from the publicist saying, "We can bury anyone." Well, on that same day, Justin Baldoni sued the New York Times for libel for $250 million, saying that Blake Lively had conspired with the New York Times to make him look like this bad individual when really it was all Lively. Well, now he's put all of that in a lawsuit against Lively and, like you said, Ryan Reynolds, in which he says, hold on a second, it wasn't me orchestrating a smear campaign against Lively. It was actually Blake Lively, her husband, her PR team, coming at me because we had creative differences over the film.
This time, he was going to reveal it all, presenting all the evidence to show the world exactly what Blake and Ryan have been doing to him the entire time.
Your friendship support helped me do that also, so thank you. I'm not holding to anything professionally, I just thank you for the friendship side in the meantime.
For real, I was worried about you. That's so much to hold. I'm really happy for you. I bet you feel 1,000 pounds lighter.
I really, really do. Only 20 to go.
My man came with text messages proving that he never questioned Blake's body type, but being fully aware that Blake had just come out of a pregnancy and being the very nice guy that he was trying to handle this situation to make sure that she felt okay.
I'm just pumping in my trailer if you want to work out our lines. Justin said, copy, eating with the crew, and we'll head that way. And Blake said, take your time, and Justin said, I'm here, I'll meet you in hair and makeup.
Okay, now to be fair, these text messages don't perfectly prove whether or not Justin barged in on Blake's breastfeeding sessions, but it does show that he knew about her schedule, therefore scheduling rehearsals in her dressing room. So, at least from what we can see in these messages, he acted appropriately.
Justin is sharing photos as part of the countersuit that he filed against the Gossip Girl alum seeking $400 million of him, quote, being held with his family in the basement. In one image cited in the document, Justin, his wife Emily Baldoni, and various other family members can be seen sitting around a red table in a windowless space with overflowing boxes of popcorn. In another photo, Justin poses against pallets containing stacks of unopened packs of water bottles and Coke bottles alongside 7 of his female friends and relatives.
And when it came to them kissing scenes that Blake claimed made her feel uncomfortable, well, Justin leaked footage of all that would happen behind the scenes.
I feel so nosy.
I know. And my nose is so big.
Yes. I was hoping that we could address this. It's not too late. Just gotta shut down. We gotta call an insurance month and just deal with that.
Yeah.
And then
Cut.
Just kidding.
Okay, so as you can see, both of them are laughing and joking and playing, and Blake even makes a comment about Justin's big ass nose. Now, I don't know about you, but to me, she seems comfortable as fuck. And you need to remember, Justin owned the adaptation rights because he purchased it with his own money. Yet somehow he didn't even have a seat at the premiere and had to watch it with his family in the basement of the theater?
If you ever get around to watching Game of Thrones, you'll appreciate that I'm Khaleesi, and like her, I happen to have a few dragons. For better or worse, but usually better, because my dragons also protect those I fight for. So really, we all benefit from those gorgeous monsters of mine. You will too, I can promise you.
Now this is a straight up weird as threat coming from Blake Lively, basically threatening Justin that if he doesn't submit to her demands, then her dragons, Dragon 1 being Ryan Reynolds and Dragon 2 being Taylor Swift, we're gonna turn him into a super salty woke feminist barbecue. And the thing is, after Justin presented these receipts, the Taylor Swift camp quickly came out to say this.
There is a rift between Taylor Swift and Blake Lively. Taylor feels like she's been used.
Yeah, used in the middle of Blake Lively's war with Justin Baldoni.
There was a big meeting at Blake and Ryan's penthouse in New York City. where they were going over a script change with Justin Baldoni. Justin said at the time that he didn't know he was going to be ambushed with both Ryan there and Taylor Swift there. So we're thinking, wow, Taylor Swift inserted herself in this. That didn't happen according to our sources. Taylor thinks it was done intentionally by Blake. So what happened was there was a 2-hour meeting with Blake, Justin Baldoni, and Ryan Reynolds. At the end of the meeting, that was the time Blake told Taylor to come over.
And Taylor had no idea that there was any meeting going on.
No idea at all.
That anybody else was going to be there.
And she believes, we're told, that Blake set her up and wanted her to come in when Justin was still there to show Blake's power.
Now, although this isn't an official statement, it does indirectly confirm that Blake did indeed have an argument with Justin, and that both Ryan and Taylor, although at different points in time, were on the scene. So my question is why in the hell would you bring two heavy Hollywood hitters to a dinner where you're trying to discuss business?
Some fuckery's going on.
Now here's where things get ushing as fuck. Because Blake hired her own editor and didn't even let Justin see the final version of the film that he paid for, the film that he cast her to be in at the premiere.
When I would show up on a set, I knew that they just wanted me to show up and look cute and stand on a little pink sticker where I'm supposed to go and say what I'm supposed to say, but I also knew that that wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative. Sometimes I would have people who really resented that because they were like, we just hired you to be an actor. Yet when I went in the meetings, I would just seem like I'm just there to be the actor and ready to get the gig. I wouldn't reveal that I actually need to have authorship in order to feel fulfilled. So I think that for them, sometimes that might have felt like a rug pull because you're like, you're trying to assert yourself into something that we didn't hire you to do. And so it was a really strange position to be in.
And here is the smoking gun. Blake Lively admits that she is a straight up rug pull artist, and that in every way possible, although she might pretend to be an actress, what she wants is complete creative control of a story. And this video right here was taken 1 year before they started filming It Ends With Us. This is like a straight up 预告片 for horror shit show.
I wasn't in the best place. I told them that I was exhausted, that I haven't given myself time to recover or time to heal. I had a intense year and a lot of emotional stress. It's very hard on me and my family.
So, Justin Baldoni, the nice guy whose big ass nose is shoved far out the butthole of extreme feminism, who goes out of his way above and beyond to not offend women, allowed Blake Lively, who was initially hired as an actress, to take complete control of the film, from its editing to its promotion to its initial release. This guy ain't your regular run-of-the-mill 工具人, he's a straight up 玩具. And these receipts set the internet on fire, allowing Blake's reputation to go up in flames along with it. And the thing is, that anger didn't just stop at Blake, it now had turned to her husband. And here's where things are about to get even more weird. Because remember, Blake's film and Ryan's film came out around the same time. And apparently this drama was deeply entrenched on both sets of each film. It may end with us, but it begins with Deadpool. Okay, so of course, I have to preface this by saying that everything I'm about to disclose herein is based on speculation and ideas from fans and lawyers. In other words, conspiracy theory shit.
Hold on to your butt.
First thing, both It Ends With Us and Deadpool 3 both started shooting at the end of May in 2023, and they were essentially on the exact same production schedule. And Blake Lively had just given birth to her child when she started filming.
But here everybody calls me Nice Pool. Oh my goodness, wait, you see Lady Pool, she is gorgeous. She just had a baby too, and can't even tell. I don't think you're supposed to say that. That's okay. I identify as a feminist.
And you see that man bun and that beard? It looks exactly like how Justin used to wear his hair just a couple of years ago. And Nice Pool's very respectful way of speaking and being political correct and saying that he respects all women is almost identical to Justin.
I identify as a feminist.
Here I am doing my part, trying to be a feminist.
And then fans found another clue. In Deadpool 3, Nice Pool was brutally taken out by Lady Deadpool, who guess what, was played in a cameo by Blake Lively. Okay, now take note, this takes place in front of a flower shop. And in It Ends With Us, Blake's character is the owner of a flower shop. So, if the fan speculation is true, that means that Ryan, you'll total sneak diss Justin in Deadpool 3. Now, it could just be a weird coincidence, but if it turns out to be true, Ryan is a really, truly terrible, horrible genius, taking Deadpool's uncanny ability to break the fourth wall into the real world by dissing someone who he thought was threatening and hurting his wife.
You're so dark! Do you sure you're not from the DC universe?
Anyway, as of now, Justin's lawyer has created a website to publish all the receipts of the entire encounter. And although Blake Lively is quite pretty, she don't look good in this at all. And at this point, her reputation is all but 6 feet under. And it seems like Ryan, whether willingly or not, has gotten dragged into this as well. And assuming Ryan Reynolds is innocent and he was just trying to defend his wife from what he thought she was being wrong, if that sneak diss turns out to be true, that is fucking badass, yo. But that's just me. Let me guys know what you think in the comments down below. Remember to keep it civil, like, comment, and subscribe. And by the way, if any of you guys know any 爆米花公司要跟我们合作做一个业配, also let us know down below. And I'll see you on the flip side. Peace!